Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is quite a sad situation that's just happened in London, where we've now seen an 11-year-old and a 34-year-old, both female, stabbed in Leicester Square. This story is broke from some sources on X, however, it's now also been reported in some local press, and is actually, the thing that highlighted me was a notification from Sky News, who have confirmed this incident. But there's obviously a lot of them are just putting out the headline with what to follow. The Ilford Recorder, they've actually got some more details on this horrific situation. Their headline is breaking Leicester Square London double stabbing, 2 taken to hospital. 2 people have been taken to hospital after a double stabbing in central London. The incident was confirmed by MPS Westminster on X in Leicester Square around 12:50 PM today. 2 people, an 11-year-old girl and a 34-year-old woman, were found injured and taken to hospital. Their conditions are currently unknown. A man has been arrested in connection with the incident and taken into police custody, where he remains. Police believe there are no outstanding suspects. We have contacted Metropolitan Police and London Ambulance Service for further updates on the incident. MPS Westminster tweeted, "Officers are on the scene of a stabbing in Leicester Square. A man has been arrested and is in custody. We don't believe there are any outstanding suspects. 2 victims, an 11-year-old girl and a 34-year-old woman, have taken to hospital, and we await an update on their condition." Absolutely frightening. And the reasons behind it, totally unknown. The reasons behind it to me right now are not the most important thing. The most important thing to me is, in the last few weeks, we've had some very disturbing incidents of knife crime reported. And there'll be loads that we haven't seen reported. But the sort of headline ones have been obviously the police officer that was stabbed in his uniform in the streets of the United Kingdom to within an inch's death. That's quite harrowing. And then there was a horrific one a week later, with the 3 lovely wee girls stabbed and killed in Southport. And now this. Now there will be loads more. These are just the ones that are making breaking news. So, can Starmer please do what you should have done after the Southport, and don't go on and make a public announcement saying you're sorry about Southport and then just talk about people out protesting, some of who were being violent. You need to reassure the public. You need to give, that's your job, right? You are a public servant. There is no higher public servant than you. So you need to take this on board, and you need to give the public some, comfort that you, the government, the judiciary system, the police and the media are going to do something about this knife crime, this knife culture we've got. It's going on too long, right? You can't just go on about non-existent, fake, far-right protests that aren't happening and get the Socialist Worker Party and some bloody unions just turn up in our city centres with some banners to counter protests that weren't happening in the first place. See, all that nonsense, that's got to stop. You've got to actually start by looking at what is concerning a big chunk of the British public that you want to ignore, you want to demonise, because they've concerns about the knife crime. They've concerns about not immigrants, but the amount of immigrants we have. People have concerns not about asylum seekers, but the levels of asylum seekers and the ridiculous, practically zero process we have in place for them. And people have concerns with the 1.2 million people that have come into the country over the last 12 months, with a net migration of 750,000 more people in the UK today than there was a year ago. People are concerned about what's going on in the boats, right? These people are not fleeing from terror. These people are fleeing from France. We need to protect our borders. So please, 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 those governors, those policing and those reporting on it in the media, can we just have a reality check, please? Because another Now, God please help them. Let's hope and pray that this 34-year-old woman and this 11-year-old child are not going to be murdered because of this, whatever's happened down in Leicester. And it doesn't matter what colour they are, and it doesn't matter what religion they are, and it doesn't matter their immigration status of the person, the two people who are the victims, or the perpetrator at this point. It's just another, just like, when's it going to stop? When can we wake up in the morning and no find an 11-year-old girl stabbed in the streets of Britain for whatever reason unknown right now? And I'm sure we will find out, either through the mainstream media or for people there, all the things that some people want to find important, his name and his colour and all that stuff. That's important further up the park. What is important right now is we have an 11-year-old girl and a 34-year-old female. They're in a hospital right now, condition unknown, because of stabbings in this capital city of this country. When is the madness going to stop? When is somebody going to go, do you know what, it's your job. Take on the responsibility of sorting out this and a whole list of concerns that a lot of people have got in the United Kingdom. And by the way, it doesn't matter the race, religion or reasons for these. It genuinely doesn't. But you'll tag it in because one or two people will say, oh, that'll be there, another asylum seeker. He might not be. I genuinely couldn't care right now. We can look into that, once we find out these two people are bloody going to survive this, right? Can we just see through the bullshit and face up to the concerns of many, many people in this country just now? Knife crime, asylum process, the amount of immigration, housing shortages, cost of living, it's just like, but you always find a way of ignoring it, by putting it in a wee box and saying that's just the far right to concern this. We'll get the socialist worker parties and some trade unions to have another wee protest somewhere and hold up banners saying refugees are welcome here. Do you know what you do? You could sort out the refugee problem that quick. See everybody that puts a banner up saying refugees welcome here, go and put them up in your house. That would sort out the refugee problem and the asylum seeker problem almost instantaneously, because people are sick. The small towns, no, the cities are bad enough, but small towns all over the country who've maybe only got one hotel and it's now got, a couple of hundred men that nobody knows who they really are, aged 20 to 30, all single, right? For some reason, all these boys that are put up in the hotel, you don't see many 75-year-olds or 50-year-old couples with families. It's all single guys, right? Put up in the hotels, sometimes in close-knit communities where people are genuinely scared because crime rates go up. And anybody that wants to say that's racist or whatever is talking through a hole in their head. The crime rate has gone up because there's more people in the place with nothing to do, right? So small communities are hurting here, but we want to ignore it and we want to call anybody that questions it far-right racist and all these sort of nonsense things. Somebody at some point's got to take responsibility of their accepted role and highly paid role as the servants of this country. And I talk about the people in government, our prime ministers, our cabinet, our government, and even people in parliament that are in opposition. Somebody somewhere has to take the bull by the horns and start working through these serious, serious concerns people have got in the United Kingdom. Because the problems will not go away, and the pressure caused by people with these concerns will get worse and worse and worse. So we need to root the problem, not the consequences of the problem. We need to get to the root of the problem. Yeah? We need to dig in and say, right, let's look at the 2 or 3 worst ones to start with and sort the job out. People have been promised by every parliament, every government for 20 years that they'll sort out immigration. Every one of you. So you all know there's a problem. Because if it wasn't a problem, you wouldn't put it in your manifestos. You wouldn't stand up showboating at Huston saying, we're going to sort immigration, if you didn't believe there was a problem. But the minute people in Britain go and they question it, suddenly they're far right. Take ownership of the problem and sort it out. Because I can't be bothered getting up and reading more stories about 11-year-old children stabbed in the streets of Britain. And by the way, those two things can be completely unattached. The immigration problem and this bloody stabbing fucking phenomena that we've got right now can be two different things, right? But the minute you talk about one, and because you're concerned about the other, folk go, you're a racist, you're suggesting that this guy, that, and again, who's to say it's like, well, there has been confirmed it's a man. I don't know. I don't care what race he is, or religion he is, or colour his skin. I'm just fed up listening to stories about children, unarmed but uniformed soldiers in the streets of Britain getting stabbed. I'm fed up seeing videos of Southend-on-Sea with a mob of about 100 flying into each other with machetes. Is it alright if I'm concerned about these things? Is that allowed? So please, somebody, somewhere, take this by the balls and sort out the problems that are on the streets of Britain that everybody knows about. Every single person, because you all talk and tell us in your manifestos you're going to sort them. So you know the problems. But when other people start raising them, you pigeonhole them and put them in boxes and call them nasty words to try and make their words somehow ignorable. That's disgusting. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell. But most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person, any skin colour or any religion, that thinks taking a big knife out in the street and causing havoc, particularly with females and children, as everybody else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.